Question 138. Dash is made up of one or more data centers equipped with independent power, cooling and networking. It is set up to be an isolation boundary. If one zone goes down, the other continues working. Option A, scale set. Option B, availability zone. Option C, database racks. Option D, reason. And the correct answer is option B, availability zone. Explanation from the official Azure documentation. Next question. Which of the following is the strongest way to protect sensitive customer data? Option A, encrypt the data in transit. Option B, don't store sensitive data at all. Option C, encrypt the data at rest. Option D, encrypt the data both at rest and in transit. And the correct answer is option D, encrypt the data both at rest and in transit. Explanation from the official Azure docs. To help protect data in the cloud, you need to account for the possible states in which your data can occur and what controls are available for that state. Best practices for Azure data security and encryption relate to the following data states. Number 1. At rest. This includes all information storage objects, containers, and types that exist statically on physical media, whether magnetic or optical disk. Number 2. In transit. When data is being transferred between components, locations, or programs, it's in transit. Examples are transfer over the network, across a service bus, from on-premises to cloud and vice versa, including hybrid connections such as express route, or during an input or output process. Next question. For all cloud deployment types, you own your dash and dash. You're also responsible for their security. Option A, information and network controls. Option B, devices and operating system. Option C, data and identities. Option D, data and physical network. And the correct answer is option C, data and identities. Explanation from the official Azure documentation. As you consider and evaluate public cloud services, it's critical to understand the shared responsibility model and which security tasks are handled by the cloud provider and which tasks are handled by you. The workload responsibilities vary depending on whether the workload is hosted on software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, or in an on-premises data center. Division of responsibility in an on-premises data center, you own the whole stack. As you move to the cloud, some responsibilities transfer to Microsoft. The following diagram illustrates the areas of responsibility between you and Microsoft according to the type of deployment of your own stack. For all cloud deployment types, you own your data and identities. You are responsible for protecting the security of your data and identities, on-premises resources, and the cloud components you control, which varies by service type. Regardless of the type of deployment, the following responsibilities are always retained by you. A. Data. B. Endpoints. C. Account. D. Access management. Next question. A recent unapproved size change to one of the virtual machines in your company has led to a huge unexpected bill. Which of the following services can help you identify the user who made this unapproved change? Option A, Azure Event Hubs. Option B, Azure Activity Log. Option C, Azure Service Health. Option D, Azure Xamarin. Option E, Azure Information Protection, AIP. And the correct answer is option B, Azure Activity Log. Explanation from the official Azure documentation. The Azure Monitor Activity Log is a platform log in Azure that provides insight into subscription-level events. The activity log includes information like when a resource is modified or a virtual machine is started. You can view the activity log in the Azure portal or retrieve entries with PowerShell and the Azure CLI. This article provides information on how to view the activity log and send it to different destinations. Next question. Azure Service Health has the ability to configure cloud alerts to notify you about active and upcoming service issues. Option A, no. Option B, yes. And the correct answer is option B, yes. Explanation. From the official Azure documentation, Azure Service Health notifies you about Azure service incidents and plant maintenance so you can take action to mitigate downtime. Configure customizable cloud alerts and use your personalized dashboard to analyze health issues, monitor the impact to your cloud resources, get guidance and support, and share details and updates. Next question. Which of the following is a good uses of tags? Option A. To help identify the assets required to support a single workload. Option B. Using tags to quickly locate resources associated with specific workloads, environments, ownership groups, or other important information. Option C. Making business groups aware of cloud resource consumption requires IT to understand the resources and workloads each team is using. Option D. All of these. Option E. Using tags for data classification. And the correct answer is option D. All of these. Explanation. All of the above can help leverage the power of tags in one way or the other. From the official Azure docs. Organizing cloud-based resources is a crucial task for IT, unless you only have simple deployments. Use naming and tagging standards to organize your resources for the following reasons. Number 1. Resource management. Your IT teams need to quickly locate resources associated with specific workloads, environments, ownership groups, or other important information. Organizing resources is critical to assigning organizational roles and access permissions for resource management. Number 2. Cost management and optimization. Making business groups aware of cloud resource consumption requires IT to understand the resources and workloads each team is using. Number 3. Operations management. Visibility for the operations management team about business commitments and SLAs is an important aspect of ongoing operations. For operations to be managed well, tagging for mission criticality is required. Number 4. Security. Classification of data and security impact is a vital data point for the team when breaches or other security issues arise. To operate securely, tagging for data classification is required. Number 5. Governance and regulatory compliance. Maintaining consistency across resources helps identify changes from agreed upon policies. Prescriptive guidance for resource tagging demonstrates how one of the following patterns can help when deploying governance practices. Similar patterns are available to evaluate regulatory compliance using tags. Number 6. Automation. A proper organizational scheme allows you to take advantage of automation as part of resource creation, operational monitoring, and the creation of DevOps processes. It also makes resources easier for IT to manage. Number 6. Workload optimization. Tagging can help identify patterns and resolve broad issues. Tag can also help identify the assets required to support a single workload. Tagging all assets associated with each workload enables deeper analysis of your mission-critical workloads to make sound architectural decisions. Next question. Which of the following is a free tool to conveniently manage your Azure cloud storage resources from your desktop? Option A. Azure Migrate. Option B. Azure AZ Copy. Option C. Azure Storage Explorer. Option D. Azure Data Box. Option E. Azure File Sync. And the correct answer is option C, Azure Storage Explorer. Explanation. From the official Azure documentation, Azure Storage Explorer is a free tool to conveniently manage your Azure cloud storage resources from your desktop. Next question. Dash is the process of verifying a user's credentials. Option A, authentication. Option B, authorization. Option C, federation. Option D, ticketing. And the correct answer is option A, authentication. Explanation. Authentication is the process of establishing the identity of a person or service looking to access a resource. It involves the act of challenging a party for legitimate credentials and provides the basis for creating a security principle for identity and access control use. It establishes if they are who they say they are. Authorization is the process of establishing what level of access an authenticated person or service has. It specifies what data they are allowed to access and what they can't do it. Next question. A resource can only access other resources in the same resource group. Option A, yes. Option B, no. And the correct answer is option B, no. Explanation. From the official Azure documentation, a resource can connect to resources in other resource groups. This scenario is common when the two resources are related but don't share the same lifecycle. For example, you can have a web app that connects to a database in a different resource group. Next question. Azure Advisor provides a cloud score to assess how well architected your workloads are and can also provide a step-by-step guidance and quick actions for fast remediation. Option A, no. Option B, yes. And the correct answer is option B, yes. Explanation. From the official Azure documentation, Azure Advisor helps in quick and easy optimization of your Azure deployments. Azure Advisor analyzes your configurations and uses telemetry and offers personalized, actionable recommendations to help you optimize your Azure resources for reliability, security, operational excellence, performance, and cost. Next question. Which of the following Azure storage would you use to store different types of files such as videos, audios, text in a highly cost-effective and scalable manner? Option A, Azure PostgreSQL. Option B, Azure Cosmos DB. Option C, Azure Blob Storage. Option D, Azure SQL Database. And the correct answer is option C, Azure Blob Storage. Explanation. From the official Azure documentation, a blob is a binary large object and a storage option for any type of data that you want to store in a binary format. Learn about blob types. Azure Blob Storage is Microsoft's object storage solution for the cloud. Blob storage is optimized for storing massive amounts of unstructured data. Unstructured data is data that doesn't adhere to a particular data model or definition, such as text or binary data. Blob storage is designed for number 1, serving images or documents directly to a browser. Number 2, storing files for distributed access. Number 3, streaming video and audio. Number 4, writing to log files. Number 5, storing data for backup and restore, disaster recovery and archiving. Number 6, storing data for analysis by an on-premises or Azure-hosted service. Next question. Microsoft Azure services operated by dash in China. Option A, Xiaomi. Option B, 21 ViaNet. Option C, Morgan Stanley. Option D, Alibaba. And the correct answer is option B, 21 ViaNet. Explanation. Microsoft Azure, operated by 21 ViaNet, is the first international public cloud service that has been commercialized in China in compliance with Chinese laws and regulations. Next question. Suppose The lead architect in your company has asked your team to implement a IaaS-based solution in Azure for a quick proof of concept to senior management. One of your colleagues goes ahead and creates an Azure virtual network and 3 Azure virtual machines. Would you agree with this implementation? Option A, no. Option B, yes. And the correct answer is option B, yes. Explanation: Azure Virtual Machines and Azure Virtual Networks both fall under the IaaS category, and therefore this solution would meet the lead architect's ask. Next question. A dash can enable branch offices to share sensitive information between locations. Option A, bridge. Option B, bastion. Option C, VPN. Option D, DNS. And the correct answer is option C, VPN. Explanation: from the official Azure documentation, VPNs use an encrypted tunnel within another network. They are typically deployed to connect two or more trusted private networks to one another over an untrusted network, typically the public internet. Traffic is encrypted while traveling over the untrusted network to prevent eavesdropping or other attacks. VPNs can enable branch offices to share sensitive information between locations. For example, let's say that your offices on the East Coast region of North America need to access your company's private customer data, which is stored on servers that are physically located in a West Coast region. A VPN can connect your East Coast offices to your West Coast servers, allowing your company to securely access your private customer data. Thank you for watching this video. Buy our AZ 900 premium questions with 50% off. Check link in the description.